So, Claire, that's Margaret Hoover in an interview with Aaron Burnett over on CNN. And I just want to underscore what she says. I watched him run an organization poorly, lose the confidence of donors. The organization ultimately folded and was forced to merge with another organization whose individuals could run and manage the funds on behalf of donors. I mean, in the instance of being the United States Secretary of Defense, the donors are the taxpayers. Right? And the thing you mismanage is the deployment of active duty troops. Have you heard from any of your former colleagues on the Republican side of the aisle who are worried about those disqualifying attributes?
I think all of that. We have not, the conversations I've had, we have not talked specifically about Pete Hegseth yet. I can tell you there's a great deal of concern about the kind of nominees he is making in terms of their role of advice and consent, whether it's Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth, or this ridiculous Kash Patel nomination for the FBI. There seems to be, I mean, Donald Trump is really kind of overplaying his hand here. He didn't get 50% of the American vote. He got less than 50% of the American vote. And he is going to the very ends of the earth in terms of extremism to fill these roles. And I think he's doing it based on who he thinks can talk well on television. He thinks that's the only thing you have to do because, frankly, that's what he does. He doesn't really manage much. He talks on television, watches television, talks on television, and does his thing on his social media app. But I do want to circle back to a point that my colleague made a few minutes ago about the fact that this is a volunteer force. If you have scandals at the Department of Defense, if you have a leader that has engaged in public drunkenness and dishonorable behavior, and frankly, remember, even committing adultery is a violation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Much less serial adultery, much less dancing on the stage with strippers. These are all violations of the military code that you can, in fact, be prosecuted for under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. How are they going to recruit people to come into this military? How are young men and women going to go, yeah, that's where I want to go. I want to lay my life on the line to follow that guy into battle. It's a real problem. I mean, character and integrity are so important in law enforcement. They're even in some ways more important, if you can imagine, in the military, because all of these organizations depend on people signing up to do these various, very, very dangerous jobs.
I mean,